Hello, everyone! Let's debunk a couple of the myths surrounding self love, shall we? As we embark on this captivating and powerful journey, be prepared that some of the things you thought you knew might be challenged. So keep that curiosity hat on and hold on to your seats because the truth tsunami is about to hit. How many times have you found yourself desperately chasing love from others, only to overlook the incredible well of love within yourself? In a world where the spotlight often shines on external validation, now it is shifting towards the epic saga of looking inward. The concept of self love isn't exactly a groundbreaking discovery, but it's been catching fire lately, igniting passion in the hearts of those seeking meaning and purpose. And guess what? Research has proven that there is a clear connection between self love and mental wellness that we cannot afford to ignore any longer. But despite its popularity, the concept of self love can be confusing and is sometimes used as a mask to hide behavior that is actually toxic and can do more harm than good. So, in order to avoid that, I suggest that we take a careful look at what self love is not. It's not about assuming you're always right. If self love tells you not to change yourself, then I'm sorry to break it to you, but it is not self love. Self love involves recognizing both weaknesses and strengths as we cultivate a balanced perspective. Have you witnessed any situation when some people deny having done something wrong despite clear evidence? They get offended by the mere thought that they could do something wrong. Self love isn't only about loving what you're doing right, but about accepting yourself entirely, even getting to know your flaws and working on them. If it encourages you to always put a positive spin on situations when you should be reflective on self growth and reevaluate your core values, then it is not self love. Statements such as, love yourself no matter what, or put yourself first no matter what, are actually toxic if they do not encourage vulnerability, learning, or change. When you ignore or downplay your flaws and are unwilling to acknowledge their presence, you're actually not practicing self love. There is actually another term for this, which is called cuddling, and this is detrimental to our well being. Self love is not about some forced positive words that we put up on a poster on a wall. It is rather setting up a daily kind reminder of how we can become a better version of ourselves. It's not about doing only what is easy all the time. Just as we said before, self-love is not about some cheesy quotes, nor is it about doing impulsive shopping as an avoidance strategy or taking bubble baths. Although these can feel pretty nice at times. It is a whole journey of acceptance, kindness, and personal growth. Let us say that you are overwhelmed at work and you decide to take a half an hour break in nature to ground yourself. Coming back to your tasks after feeling replenished is a way to practice self-love. Disappearing for a whole day, however, in order to avoid a difficult project or a meeting where conflicts might arise, is actually not self-love, but rather alludes to unhealthy behavior. Avoiding conflict is not self-love. Difficult conversations are actually normal in any kind of healthy relationship, as they allow us to grow and heal. The same thing applies to food, alcohol, or buying things that only feel good in the moment. They can feel like treats, but overindulging will only cause more harm than good because when we try to disguise self-care into a form of denial, that is not self-care. Have you ever noticed how much better you feel after spending some time with a pet? Or going for a walk or turning off all digital noise? Doesn't it feel like the world gets calmer? What about that feeling of relief after a psychotherapy session when it would have been easier to keep it all in or to avoid the talk altogether? Self-love isn't always easy, but we are always worthy of it. It is not selfish. Self-love doesn't make one selfish. In fact, it provides the energy it takes to genuinely care for oneself and others. As said before, self-love involves accepting our own imperfections on our path to healthy growth and evolution. People who love themselves truly will strive for harmony in their relationships, meaning that if one disregards someone else's feelings, violates their boundaries, is disrespectful or narcissistic, they're actually not displaying true self-love. Because true self-love is guided by respect, empathy, and consideration for oneself and for others. Contrary to some of the trendy beliefs nowadays, self-love isn't about bragging or self-promoting all the time. It's more of a humble acknowledgement. Loving oneself does not mean thinking only about ourselves. Self-love is a process of reflection where we turn our energy inward, but the benefits are not selfish. It is not a superiority complex. Real self-love actually encourages us to look for the goodness in others. Also, it is not fleeting. It persists even in challenging times, helping us find resilience and see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like in any relationship, love isn't about being happy every single moment. It's about navigating the bumps, embracing imperfections, and still caring deeply. Self-love lets you forgive, understand your own feelings, and make decisions that support your well-being, even when things get a little messy. It doesn't mean you have to be all rainbows and sunshine about yourself 24/7. That is unrealistic. It's about having an overall positive view of yourself even when the storm clouds roll in. For example, just like you can feel frustrated with a partner, friend, or family member and still love them, you can be temporarily upset with yourself and still be your own biggest fan. It's a complex dance of emotions. It is not a blame game. Self-love doesn't involve blaming others for the challenges we come across in our lives. It means setting healthy boundaries and taking responsibility even when others negatively impact us. And on taking responsibility, here's a tricky part that many of us recovering perfectionists struggle with. Sometimes, when we are striving for perfection, we miss out on the fact that we are only humans after all, and that humans make mistakes or miss on targets occasionally. And although we may tell ourselves that we are just keeping ourselves accountable, too much self-deprecation can be harmful to our mental health. Instead, learning to forgive ourselves and treating our mistakes as opportunities to learn and grow is actually an inch closer to practicing self-love. So, next time when you are ready to scold yourself for not finishing something you planned to in time, try to acknowledge how far you've come and the amount of work you've put in. Often, it is easy to only see our faults and shortcomings, but being self-compassionate and directing some kindness towards ourselves will help us override some of the negative self-talk which often forms harmful mental patterns and help us feel loved and supported instead. And there you have it. I hope that dispelling these misconceptions will open the door to a healthier understanding of self-love. Remember, it's not about arrogance or indifference. It's about harmony and genuine care. If you found this exploration valuable, please like this video, share it with the ones that are wondering about self-love, and subscribe for more self-discovery content. Also, if you want to learn more about some of the topics we touched upon, be sure to take a look in the description for more resources. And until next time, thank you very much for watching!